Hello everyone, I'm meteorologist Charlie Ironmonger. Thank you so much for joining me today for your 9 a.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. Now I've got news out of Bertie County where a search warrant is currently being executed. Officials say the Bertie County Sheriff's Office Special Operations and Criminal Investigations Divisions are on the scene for a narcotics search warrant on Pine Street in the Lewiston-Woodville area. Now 2 people have already been arrested according to authorities. We've reached out to the Sheriff's Office for more information and are waiting to hear more details as they're expected to be released later today. Again, this is an ongoing investigation. And now we turn to the ongoing war in Gaza, where Israel has made the decision to expand military operations in the besieged area. NBC's Ralph Sanchez has more from London.
Israel today dramatically escalating its war in Gaza, war so many around the world are desperate to see end. The Israeli Security Cabinet overnight voting to approve a plan for the Israeli military to seize control of Gaza City. That comes after Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said Israel would eventually put the entire Gaza Strip under Israeli military occupation. Now, this vote was pushed through despite opposition from Israeli military leadership, Israel's top generals, but also from the families of Israeli hostages who fear that this new ground offensive could put their loved ones at risk. We have seen Hamas in the past executing hostages as IDF forces drew near. The UN is saying that this will only lead to more widespread misery for the people of Gaza, where some 60,000 people have been killed so far in Israel's offensive. That's according to the Gaza Health Ministry. Starvation now widespread following Israeli restrictions on humanitarian aid, some of which have been eased. Now, this plan is being met with widespread international opposition, including from U.S. allies like Australia, like the UK, and like Germany. The leader of Germany this morning announcing that his country will halt all arms exports to Israel if those weapons could be used for operations in Gaza. Raf Sanchez, NBC News, London.
Thank you very much, Raf, for that report. We now want to turn to your weather forecast. Today, again, starting out a little bit cloudy. We're seeing a little bit more sunshine, particularly back towards I-95. Do want to take you again to what we're seeing right now along the Neuse River in New Bern, and 75 degrees comes with a 71-degree dew point, northerly wind at 10 miles an hour, and cloud cover. Not to worry, though. I know that we will be again cloudy today. We're going to be cooler again today, at least an average. We may be a degree or 2 warmer in the afternoon than what we experienced yesterday, but we're probably not going to be able to tell much of a difference. Again, rain showers minimal right now, but if you're in Grifton, this isn't what it looks like down at ground level. This is our Grifton Tower cam that's about 1,800 feet off the ground. So again, right now in the thick of the cloud, 73 degrees, northeasterly wind at 12 miles an hour. But again, rain showers, not really seeing much. We had 2 little spot showers work their way off the coast of Hyde County towards Lowland in Pamlico County. Doesn't look like they've completely reached there. Let's actually zoom it in on that area, and you can see again those little spot showers, and it's drying up as they approach Pamlico County. So nothing really to report in terms of rain showers right now, unless they are very light, so light that our radar actually can't pick them up. Air temperatures right now reading in the low to mid 70s throughout most of eastern North Carolina. If you're waking up a little bit closer to the water along the Outer Banks, you're enjoying the mid to upper 70s, as we've got 75 degrees in Manio, 80 in Stumpy Point, 77 in Hatteras, 77 as well in Beaufort. So a little bit warmer as you get closer to the water. A northeasterly to northerly wind right now blowing in at around 10 to 15 miles an hour throughout most of eastern North Carolina. Now, gusts are a little bit higher than that, but again, the important thing to note is more the wind direction than wind speed. Wind speed does make a difference, but steady breeze out of the north to northeast really keeps that cool air kind of trapped in eastern North Carolina, keeping it flowing into the region, kind of suppressing any sort of flow out of the opposite direction, out of the southwest, which would naturally warm us up and lead to a little bit more humidity. So again, for today, feeling comfortable, not too hot, certainly dealing with some cloud cover, that's for sure. We will see a little bit more of the sun later on in the evening before obviously it sets, and then as we wake up Saturday morning, we'll see even more sunshine, and that just kind of carries into next week, where more sunshine will equate to warmer air temperatures and more humidity. We'll get back to a normal pattern by the time we reach Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week. But here's what we've got planned for today. Around lunchtime, a chance of, again, some really light scattered showers across the east, similar to what we had yesterday. May see, again, a downpour or two coming up later on this afternoon and evening along the Crystal Coast. Can't rule that out. Models have been fairly consistent over the past 24 hours with that solution, so putting a little bit more stock into that. Early Saturday morning, there will still be some clouds around, but I think more eastern North Carolinians will be waking up to sunnier skies and cloudier skies like we're seeing today. And then again, we will maintain that slight chance of a few coastal showers, particularly for areas east of Highway 17. Those are going to be the areas that have the higher chance of rain on Saturday and potentially even Sunday, but some of those showers, particularly later on in the evening, could be moving in from the south to the north. So just because they start out along the coast doesn't mean they are going to finish there. A big reason why is a warm front kind of inching its way closer to eastern North Carolina. It's that frontal boundary you're seeing off the coast of Florida, the Gulf Coast of Florida, that is. Watch that little boundary. Again, we've had that stationary cold front and low pressure system kind of stay stationary off of our coast. That will slowly work its way out into the Atlantic, only to be replaced by the low pressure system trailing it. There you can see that warm front getting closer to eastern North Carolina as we head through the weekend, again promoting a little bit more cloud cover and rain opportunities along the coast as we make our way through the weekend. So let's take a look at your full 8-day forecast. Again, maintaining at least a chance of rain for both Saturday and Sunday. Then we get into Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of next week, even Friday for that matter, and we get back to normal air temperatures, at least for the season. Overnight lows back in the low to mid 70s again will help promote a little bit more humidity, but the rain chances we're seeing next week are going to be more tied to the heat driven showers and storms that are normal for this time of year. Nothing again that is going to be frontally caused. We're not going to see a cold front roll in, no warm fronts. This is again going to be a fairly stable pattern, and again will lead to some scattered showers and some thunderstorms through the afternoons over again next week. But for today, tomorrow, and potentially even the day after tomorrow, we again are going to stay a little bit cloudy and a little bit damp because of the fronts off of our coast. Well, that's all we have time for today's 9 a.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. I want to thank you all so much for joining me. We'll be back with more news and weather coming up at the top of the hour. Until then, I hope you all have a wonderful Friday.
This hour of the WITN First Alert Desk is sponsored by ENC Pirate Realty.